The truth finally leaked. Ducks player Ryan Strome gave an interesting interview, and he made some interesting comments about Chris Kreider. We're going to get into all that in this edition of Ducks Digest. Hey, it's Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 15% of you, the ones who are watching these videos who have already hit the sub button. But 85% of you have not subscribed yet. Not sure why. We are the newest Anaheim Ducks YouTube channel, bringing you everyday Anaheim Ducks YouTube content. We have the best fan base in California. So help out a fellow Anaheim Ducks fan and hit that subscribe button. It's going to be a super fun season. But yeah, let's get into this pretty interesting story. Ryan Strome gave us some interesting comments about Chris Kreider. Recently gave an interview. And basically, he was talking about how Krider steered the ship on his move to the Ducks. I'm telling you, Ranger fans are not going to like the comments here from Strome, right? They are not going to be happy about this. When Chris Kreider appeared destined for a split with the New York Rangers this offseason, reunited teammate Ryan Strome says he steered the ship a little bit en route to being traded to the Anaheim Ducks. Kind of crazy, right? He said he's a very proud Ranger and one of the most accomplished Rangers in history. This is what Strome told The Athletic. As much as I feel like he's needed a bit of a fresh start and a new challenge, I also think it was probably not the easiest thing to go, playing for the Rangers, right? Original six team. When you're dealing with a player of that pedigree, I think the way some of the other, of course, Ranger veterans that exited in years past, he's talking about, they wanted to let Chris handle it in the way he wanted to handle it. I think he kind of steered the ship a little bit. That is what Strome said about Chris Kreider, talking about his exit from the Rangers, which obviously is interesting comments. Larry Brooks of the New York Post reported that while the trade was in the works, that general manager Chris Drury had informed veteran players on the Rangers of his plans to move Krider in the offseason, basically telling him before the season started. Just the way things have been handled by Drury in New York, it has been completely mishandled, right? The way the whole team has been dismantled. It's too bad for them because I'm glad the Ducks have these players, right? He said he also explored trading the winger in season before eventually sending team captain Jacob Trouba to the Ducks. We know how that went. Jacob Trouba getting traded from the Rangers, and we were so happy to have Trouba on the Ducks. But yeah, what does everybody think about, Krider exiting the Rangers? Definitely seemed like he was unhappy out there in New York and wanted to change the scenery. Things have not gone to plan with the Rangers, right? It has been an absolute disaster. The last season was a disaster for them. I mean, not making the playoffs after having the season they had in 24. They took a huge step back last season. So things have not gone well for the Rangers. They are obviously cleaning house, and the Ducks have benefited from those moves, getting these players that I think are going to really make a difference for Anaheim in this upcoming season, because obviously the Rangers and the Ducks don't have the same kind of roster at all. They're completely constructed differently, both of these teams. You can't compare Anaheim to New York. New York is basically on the way out. I mean, they have Alexis Lafreniere, and that's about it when it comes to young talent. They don't really have anything else. Everything else that they have is basically has-been players, guys that are on their way out, whereas the Ducks have a young core of players that is going to make a big step next season, right? I mean, that's the big difference. The Ducks have a lot of young players that everybody's excited to watch. I think everybody around the National Hockey League really wants to see how much of a step the Ducks make this season, right? I think that's going to be the big question mark, how much of a step they make, right? And going back to the Chris Kreider story, he said for Krider, the change from the east to west coast hasn't fully set in yet. He'll play his first game for a club that isn't the Rangers on October 9th when the Ducks open their season up in Seattle. Can't hardly wait, right? Thursday, October 9th. He said, this is what Krider said. He said, for me, it's been kind of gradual, which I think is nice. I don't know. I have nothing, to compare it to. There are brush points where it's kind of like this is happening for sure. Shipped out my new equipment, jumping on the ice with Duck stuff on, and people coming up to me like, you look weird, right? Obviously, Krider spending his whole career out there in New York. It's definitely another story, playing out here in California. It's a completely different story, right? And I wanted to talk a little bit more about what Strome, Strome made some interesting comments as well about the upcoming season. And he said, Strome said Ducks, he's confident the Ducks can reach the next level after a busy offseason. He says believes of additions of veteran forwards and also Quenneville as a coach can help end the playoff drought. What does everybody think about Strome's comments? Do you think this is the end of the playoff drought? Are the Ducks going to still miss the playoffs next year? Do they compete for the playoffs? What do you think of next year, right? I think that's something everybody's going to kind of ask themselves right now. We're going to have a lot of time to talk about this the next few months. It's only July, right? I mean, it's July 23rd. What is it? Still over 2 months before the puck drops for real, right? Preseason's in a couple months, training camp in a little less than 2 months. So still a long way to go when it comes to the actual season start. But what do you think about the Ducks next year? Well, Strome thinks that things are going to be a lot better. He said, I think the last 3 years have been pretty tough. Yeah, I would say so. This is what Strome told NHL.com at the 11th annual Smile Zone Celebrity Golf Tournament in Brampton, Ontario. Beautiful place to visit this time of year. I got a chance to go to Ontario in the middle of the summer a couple years back. It's such a nice place to go. For those that are out there in Canada, give me a shout out. He said, the year before I came to Anaheim, I was with the Rangers, and we went to the conference final. I kind of knew Anaheim was at a different stage, but losing kind of wears on you, he said. So now to see some light at the end of the tunnel and see us trying to turn that corner and make the right moves to take that next step, it's exciting to see. That's what Strome said. He also went on to say, talking about Joel Quenneville, which I thought was interesting, he said he will bring a lot of leadership. Yeah, I would say he has a lot more leadership than Dallas Eakins and Greg Cronin. I'll tell you that. I mean, this guy is a respected coach. Goes to any locker room, you know who Joel Quenneville is. Any hockey player in the world knows who this guy is. He's calm. He's very professional. Very professional. Yeah, I like the comments there. Very professional. Trying to, I guess, throw shade on Cronin. Maybe he wasn't that professional. Who knows? But he's had a lot of success. It's very poised, and he's had a lot of high pedigree of winning and individual success. And anytime you inject someone like that into your lineup, it just oozes and bleeds off onto everybody what he brings. It's also a sign of the times in the sense we're trying to add to the group and take a step. It sends a great message to the fan base, players, and everyone in between. And hopefully we can match this optimism with the play on the ice. I mean, you can't, if you're not pumped up for next season seeing that, I mean, come on. You got to be pumped up as a Ducks fan seeing those comments from Strome because this team is believing they can make a big difference next year. They can make a big leap. And it's all going to, you got to get off to a good start, right? We need the Ducks to get off to a good start. October and November are going to be key. We're going to be watching those games closely. We need to get 2 points every night. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Ducks. Woo!